What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Average Bob. Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we made it here. Week 18. The season is finally coming to an end this Sunday at 1 p.m. at MetLife Stadium. Another miserable season in the books for the Giants. Back-to-back overall. In a couple years, and a long, really decade filled with tons of losses, not too many wins. But I do want to just touch on after this game on Sunday. I will do like my post-mortem on this season and just get a lot off my chest. Post that video, I'll post a recap, and then just talk about some other things as well as the week progresses. Next week progresses, I'll put out more content for you guys there. Let's just talk about the way this season went, right? This wasn't what we envisioned at all, but why this season does feel slightly different compared to those of the past is that I think we have our quarterback. I love Jackson Dart. I love what he did so far this year in the games that he's played, except for a game or two here and there, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. As you know, on this channel, with a lot of the rookies, I do tend to give the benefit of the doubt. It's those, as the years go by and guys regress completely, like someone like Evan Neal, he gets no benefit of the doubt, and we shouldn't give him that, right? But someone like Dart, who is missing, I think we had a quarter and a half of him, Scattaboo, and Neighbors all playing together. Like, that is something that makes me excited about next season. I don't know where the Giants are going to go from a coaching perspective, so that has me a little bit uneasy, but I think this job is an excellent opportunity for someone to come in and either, rejuvenate their own career or while taking a team to the next level, or build upon what they've already have done, whether that would be, hopefully, I don't really want a college coach, but someone who might be a D coordinator, and then pair that with a sick offensive coordinator for Dart. So I'm pretty optimistic about the future. What I'm not optimistic about is Joe Schoen coming back, but we could talk about that on Sunday. I do want to leave us, as we begin the new year, with a little bit of a positive message. And going into this game, even though the Giants are now 4.5-point underdogs, call me crazy, I'm just going to enjoy this game. Whatever happens, happens. The way that this season has gone has been so bad, but this is the last Giants game that we have until September. So I'm just going to lock in and enjoy it. And I hope you guys can too, because after this, you're going to be able to watch a lot of playoff football where you're going to see teams that have been developed and built to a playoff caliber, right? And that's what the Giants need to be at the end of the day. And I don't think the Giants are too far away from doing that. I think the secondary has holes. I'll talk about that in another video, but I just wanted to say I'm going to enjoy this game coming up on Sunday. I think you should too, because it is the last time we'll be able to watch Big Blue play until September. Obviously, there's mini camps, OTAs, and training camp and all of that fun stuff, but that's not really football. This is our last chance to watch our football team play, and I'm going to enjoy it. For whatever reason, I always pull up ESPN when I'm doing these sort of preview podcasts, and the matchup predictor that I'm staring at my face right now has the Giants. Matchup predictor, according to ESPN Analytics, 50.7% chance to win over Dallas at 48.9, which I have no idea how that makes sense. And then they give you the odds of showing, Cowboys being the favorite in this one. So I have no idea what to make of this matchup predictor thing. Going into this, the Giants are going to try as hard as they can. They don't care about the first pick. They don't care about you saying that they should tank. I've said this a couple times in a row, but Mike Kafka is the interim head coach of this team. He wants to win games. He wants to continue to have a job after this season, whether it's with the Giants, which I don't think it might be, but who knows? It wouldn't surprise me, right? There's a lot going on with John Mara. There's a lot going on, in the Mara family. So who knows? I can't say Joe Schoen might not be retained, and then also retain Mike Kafka. It's not out of the realm of possibilities, but would like to see a real head coach come in. So, and I think with that, you have guys that are playing for incentives, but also want to win. Jackson Dart isn't a loser. He doesn't want to lose games. He's going to play as hard as he can. Can he avoid the injuries? Hopefully. But that's to be seen. I want to see Abdul Carter continue to ball out. I thought Darius Alexander had a good game last week, and I want to see him continue to evolve. Can the rest of these guys, maybe some guys in the secondary, put together a decent game versus guys that are going to be very good, or against wide receivers that are very good, right? And I don't know if they shut down CeeDee Lamb or what his status was, because I got knocked out on one of the holiday games or around that time period. That looks pretty bad. If they probably shut him down, no one would blame him. if they did. Yeah, I just want to enjoy this last game, and God bless anyone who goes to this game. I just took out the garbage before, and it is so freaking cold in the Northeast. So God bless you if you're making the trek to watch the 3-13 Giants play the 7-8-1 playoff list Dallas Cowboys. So that's really, a short one for this week. We got to the end of it. This was the end of our 4th season doing YouTube. I did create a TikTok recently, which I thought has been great, gaining some traction, and I am enjoying that way more than I thought I would be. As I'm about to turn 37 years old, I've never been a TikTok person. The only things I had heard about TikTok was the extreme negative side of things and crushing everyone's, time spans and stuff along those lines. But I'm actually really enjoying it so far. I didn't have that on my bucket list of things that I thought I would do. But so give me a follow on TikTok if you want to see Giants related things, and then also maybe some more like personal things about starting for 2026 personal fitness goals and stuff along those lines. I might start posting more personal stuff on this and leave my YouTube channel to be really only about the Giants. Then also created an X. There's a lot of great Giants content creators out there, and it's been fun to interact with them. But on X, the algorithm knows, I don't know, they just know how to throw things in your face. They know how to fuel rage as a form of engagement, and they're really good at it. So I could say, well, it's to me, X, I got off of it during 2020 when everything was going crazy for a lot of reasons that you could look into there. But it's funny because you could say X is the ultimate. Things in writing don't come off the same way that they come out spoken, which is why I created this channel, because I'm saying things and you could understand the tone and the messaging and the way I'm saying things. Maybe I'm getting off the rails with this whole conversation, but who cares? It's the last week, so let's do it. With X, I could say I like lemons. Someone's going to respond, lemons suck, oranges are better. There's everything in writing comes off a little bit differently. So, and there's no way to kind of sugarcoat that. It's kind of just the way it is. I don't really like the X experience as it changed from Twitter to just what it still, the core functionality it is posting things and people try to refute you and argue with you in 140 characters or less. I don't think it's too great, but also then how does an 8-second video compare to that without the context of what you really want to make a point of? So yeah, it's been interesting to be back on all of those things. Maybe I'll grow more. I don't really want to do Instagram. But if you guys want me to, I could try and do it. I don't know. I just don't think I'm, I don't know. I just want to do it. But yeah, that was my whole rant. I want to do a quick post about some of the, top things from Reddit this week, give some commentary on it, and take it from there. Anyway, so here we go. We're going to dive into the best of Reddit this week. So let's get started here. And this is just looking at the previous 7 days. On the bright side, these two were bangers. Yeah, I mean, the future is very bright for both of these guys. I think if Brian Dable could go back in time, he'd probably start Dart from day one if he could. Probably might have saved his job. I don't know. But maybe the blowout losses or the losses that were given up late in fourth quarters where Giants couldn't finish games was probably enough to get rid of him. I don't know. What do you guys think on that? And then I'm really excited to see what Abdul Carter could do, even though he had a really slow start to his rookie campaign. I think he got enough flack to understand that his shit doesn't stink. It stinks like everyone else's, and people want to hold him to that, I think. And he probably wants to hold himself to that higher level, right? He asked for LT's number. He asked for Phil Simms' number. Both of them said no, rightfully so. So make your own legacy. The start was a little bit shaky, but I think he's come alive the last few games. A lot of quarterback pressures, sacks in a couple games in a row. So I hope he could finish on a strong note against Dallas this Sunday afternoon. Wan'Dale Robinson with the first pick on the line, looking like Jerry Rice, Odell Beckham, Randy Moss, Larry Fitz, Calvin Johnson. One of my first years on the channel, I did a video about Odell Beckham Jr. and whether he was going to come back to the Giants or just revisiting his career in general. So give that a watch. I'll put it up top. But one thing that I learned just rewatching that video, I knew it just doesn't come up as much because maybe we see guys like, we saw Keyshawn Johnson for a while. We see Randy Moss for a while. We see Michael Irvin for a while, right? Or they're always around. Jerry Rice we don't see in the national spotlight as much, but please go look at his stats. He is easily the GOAT. He is the Wayne Gretzky of the wide receiver football position. And I don't think he gets enough credit somehow. Maybe because he's not in the spotlight consistently looking for that. Like, if he went just like Michael Irvin, you see on the sidelines, like whipping a Ohio State thing and on all fours and doing crazy shit. And obviously Michael Irvin is a crazy ass dude, but Jerry Rice seems like he's rode off into the sunset and is so happy in what he's done since and let his numbers speak for himself. So if you want to understand what the level is for what you need to be successful as an NFL wide receiver, when defensive backs were crushing people, when there weren't any targeting rules, just go look at Jerry Rice's stats, please. Certified GOAT. Everyone else is in their own contention. The 2-13 Giants with the first overall pick on the line. Yeah, looking great. Wan'Dale Robinson, appreciation post, 1,000 yards, baby. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what Joe Schoen does here to try and get creative to bring him back. I'm not quite sure how it's going to shake out. But I love Wan'Dale Robinson, and I think he's been successful with every single quarterback that has played for the Giants over the last few years. So for a 5'8" slot receiver, I think there's a spot for him on this team. The thing that really needs to be figured out is a wide receiver 2 opposite of Malik Neighbors. But if you pay Wan'Dale Robinson, how do you get that? Do you trade for a guy and then get creative in the cap? Do you draft someone like Cardinal Tate or Jordan Tyson or whoever else is deemed to be a top wide receiver as we go through this combine and scouting process? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to have to do, but it's got to be creative because Darius Slayton ain't it. Jackson Dart is asked about a report that the Giants would consider all options, including a quarterback at the top of the 2026 draft. If I'm going to continue to play my ball, I know I'm going to be here for a very long time. I'm excited to start winning more games, turn this place around. Yeah, I really hated the reporter for bringing that up to him. They really, the local media and the national media does a great job with hating the Giants, but it seems like these local beat reporters are really going out of their way to make it as uncomfortable as possible for someone to really want to stay around and be successful in New York. And going back, they hated Eli Manning for all of those years. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but it just sucks. And it's easy to understand why people don't want to come here. They don't want to play. They don't want to get crushed from a tax perspective. And the media kind of hates you. And, the second you start playing bad, everyone's going to turn on you too. So I don't know. Is there someone who's going to be forged in the fire and take their team to the next level? Because there are many teams in New York. You have the Knicks, the Rangers, the Islanders, the Jets, the Mets, Yankees, Giants. And no one has been successful really since Eli Manning's left. The only person who has is Aaron Judge, obviously won 2 MVPs, but is he enough to get it done? He's good enough too, that's for damn sure. And then Jalen Brunson for the Knicks, but he wasn't a homegrown guy. So I don't know what you guys think about the media. I just hate this question so much, but it's their job to ask. It's their job to get a rise out of the person they're asking. The season sucks. Why are you trying to make this guy feel like shit? I don't know. We want him to be good. Maybe the reporter who asked doesn't. I don't know. Who is the best rookie quarterback between Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Tyler Show, and Shedeur Sanders? A couple of the things I want to talk about here is Cam Ward drafted 1 overall, has no weapons whatsoever, and I almost feel bad for him. Also, Tyler Shaw, or however you say his name, he was someone that the national media and everyone was shitting on. There was that viral clip of him throwing the ball on the ground or whatever, looking terrible in practice. I'm actually glad he's having the season that he is having because I want him to just put it in the haters' face because and I hope he should get more credit because he's balled out when no one thought he would. And I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong, but there will be, it seems similar to Daniel Jones, maybe because he was drafted above Shedeur Sanders, that people are just going to want to shit on him no matter what happens or what he does. So I hope he does well. And then Shedeur Sanders, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Browns, their coaching staff, front office, the way they build their team. But, I think he's done a good job of carrying that team for how bad everyone else is. We'll touch on some coaching stuff as whatever the offseason progresses when we get closer. But thank you guys for watching and Happy New Year.